Oh, and I can't do my intro either. All right, so we're live. All right.
Nice professional setup, just like I do.
Oh, I am far from a pro. Oh, it fucking annoys me because you know what it is. I don't get the I'm monthly for this fucking thing, but I don't get it like the payment isn't taken automatically, and I don't know why for Talk Studio. I don't understand it.
Oh, well, there's a lot of companies that won't do it that way because they have to have certain permissions and security. So some companies won't do automated because it actually costs them more to be able to automate to do automatic withdrawals. So
I just don't get it because Talk Studio used to be Melon App, and Melon App is owned by Stream Elements. So I just don't I don't get their logic. But and I never know. What was it, last month? I think it was. I got a random payment notice, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen you in 2 months. Fuck.
Surprise!
I know, right? Fuck.
I have well, it's better than paying and not expecting it because like I had some news groups that I was on, and I do it once a year and just all of a sudden, whatever it was, I don't remember what, $60, $70, whatever it was, just all of a sudden came out. I think it was a 2-year subscription.
Right.
Boom, taken out. Oh, I wanted to cancel that. Happens. It happens. So either way, I mean, it's whichever way works for you.
All right.
Either way is irritating some way or another.
It is, right? Just for the hell of it, I just popped onto my YouTube to make sure we're good, and we are. So I don't know if we're going to have anybody from the community in today or what. I don't know if we're going to have anybody from my Twitch community on. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. But for my listeners, I suppose I should tell people who you are.
Yeah, I
guess. Me and Todd are very good friends. How long have we known each other, man? Like 6-7 years now.
I'd say it's close to 6, I believe.
I feel like, yeah.
Because what's this? Is this what year? This is
24. Yeah.
Oh, easily. Yeah, that's probably close to 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On loose numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day, knowing that you were coming on for a shit session. Do you remember when we were all on Facebook for the community and how we got kicked off Facebook?
Yeah. Facebook is worse than YouTube.
We got some people coming in. How you doing, Nucky or Nuki? Eddie G is in.
Oh, there we go.
Some people from the community in. Yay. Yeah, Facebook was fucked up. Facebook got fucking cranky at us.
Yeah. They're real careful about everything. So, you know what? I don't broadcast. None of my stuff I broadcast on Facebook.
Me neither.
It's not worth it. It's not worth the hassle and the headache and getting a little notice saying you've been bad. So we're removing this or removing that. What's funny is we had some player pass that was actually removed. It's 2 years old. Some player pass videos, which is just moved, forever ago. Now they've removed it for whatever reason. I don't even remember. It was an old one. So it's like, shit, I forgot he was even there.
So more than 2 years old?
Yeah, it had to be. It was at least 2 years old.
And they took it down.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what rule. It just said you had broken we'd broken some rule. So it was just removed. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, who's watching a video for 2 years ago, to be honest?
I do it. But that's me.
Yeah, that's you. I don't, unless I'm researching something, I'm not watching anything old.
Well, that's what I was driving at. Because of who I am and the kind of show I run, I go back and go back and go back because I study shit, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'll study. What do you mean prepare? I don't prepare for nothing.
Both.
I don't prepare. I like to shoot from the hip.
Well, I need ammo because I'm a pop culture show, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I gotta have a few nuggets in my brain here. So
shit, I better let me get my armor on ready. Shots fired coming in. Let's see. She pulled up some old information about me where I fucked up.
I must admit, I'm really happy. All I knew about today was that me and you were going to be hanging out. Honestly speaking, I didn't expect to see anybody from the community in, but I'm happy to see this. So yay for everybody who's joining us.
We got friends.
And I do apologize that my Twitch isn't active, but that's on me. So yeah, we're here to hang out, guys, and have some fun. I do apologize to who said it? Eddie's asking for free beer. Sorry, Eddie. That's on me again.
I got some beer up here, Eddie. Just drive your happy ass from Quebec on up. We've got some. He's Quebecan. He's from Quebec.
Quebec City, or
no? He is outside. He's not in Quebec City. He's up in like kind of up in the mountainish, because I know he gets a lot more snow than we do.
Oh, okay. So Eddie's up in the streams and the trees and stuff.
Yeah, because he's always having to shovel. Shovels a whole lot more than I do. And I know you don't have to do any shovel. You're in town.
Well, for two reasons. Well, one, we have like 2 inches of snow right now, or 2 centimeters, and I live in an apartment building, so I don't have to anyway.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I knew you lived in town, so whenever you're looking out the window and you post pictures of you're looking down the stream, like, I couldn't live in the town though.
I don't miss shoveling. No,
it does suck. This is my first year of really shoveling my stuff. Like before, it was like a choice. I'm like, hey, I'll help shovel some. That wasn't so bad. But this year, I was like, holy moly, this kind of sucks. And having to shovel for my dog out back because it gets so deep out in the back.
Of course, yeah. So
I try to think of her because, I wouldn't want to be dragging my hoo-ha across some cold snow. I'm trying to think out.
Oh, thank you very much, Eddie. You'll send me some snow. Okay, good. Thank you, darling. Okay, good. You'll send me some snow.
All the Toronto will appreciate it.
The big claim to fame for T-Dot here. This was before my time. I think it was during Mel Lastman's reign as mayor of the city. Apparently, many years ago, Toronto got a fucking shitstorm of snow, and they called in the military. Mm-hmm. And they've never lived it down since.
I've heard. See, you guys. Yeah, that's true, because I have heard that Toronto can't handle snow, and something about they did call in the military. So I guess that's where it came from, because I heard you don't want to be down in Toronto when it snows.
You know what? I'm from the east coast of Canada, and we invented winter out there. And so every time I look on my phone, on my little weather thing, and it says, weather advisory for Toronto, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's see. Okay, they're calling for this, and snow and winds and whatever. I'm like, okay, that's a fucking Thursday for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not been, this year's been incredibly light. I mean, we did get some snow this past week, but like this year has been.
Well, it's very different for you. You're up north.
Well, yeah, but here, it's even here, snow was gone. Well, other than where it was piled up, it was going away. There was none on the streets. There was none until this past week when we had that snow. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I got snow tires, first time ever buying snow tires. And of course, I told Blue that I don't even need them because there was hardly any snow. But she's like, yeah, we'll just hold on to it.
Yeah. Pardon my pronunciation of your name, Nucky. Saying Cape Breton had a state of emergency from snow last week. Yeah, I was seeing on my phone once again that what was it, 3 days ago or so, the East Coast right now out in the Maritimes, they're already under like a ball of fuck worth of snow. And what was I seeing? Sydney, Nova Scotia. What days? This weekend, they were expecting 105 centimeters. I've never seen those numbers before.
How do you deal with that? I mean, how do you get out your door?
Oh, the whole province is going to shut down.
How do you get out? That'd be so much snow. How would you get out? I mean,
well, the
door would be.
Oh, Nucky's got
Open your
family
door
out
and the
there.
snow's up there.
Okay, yeah. It's a fucking shit show. All of Nova Scotia is going to shut down, and you know what? As much as I make fun of Toronto with snow, PEI gets it too, where I'm from, and there are certain levels, like you just said. How do you get out of your fucking house? What's amazing is, I mean, we're having a little civic kind of like logistics talk here, but whatever. I've seen situations back home where they don't even let the plows out or the snowblowers.
Mhm.
The only people
Yeah.
who are out, what was it? One year I was talking to my mom, and they were under like God tier snow, and I said, "Well, what if somebody has a heart attack?" And she said, "Well, the ambulance follows the snowblower."
Keep doing compressions. Been here for 8 hours waiting on that. Yeah.
You got a home kit?
These guns. Wait, that could be something else. Never mind.
How's Blue?
She's well.
Yeah.
Enjoying me not wanting to watch TV. So since I'm here hanging with you, she's got free reign to the TV, which we have. You know, I could go downstairs, or she could go downstairs, but prefer to sit in the living room and watch TV. So yeah, she's just enjoying some more anime. She's gotten the anime. I think she went back, and this is like the 4th or 5th time she's watching Airbender. So she's going through all the episodes of Airbenders.
I don't know Airbender.
I mean, it's an anime, so.
My partner knows more about anime than I do.
I mean, anime's okay to me.
I like what is it? Shit. I like Arcane. Arcane's really fucking cool.
Yeah. We saw that. We watched that. Now there was only 1 or 2 seasons of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they're coming out with another one.
I remember her watching that. That wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I liked One Punch is all right. I thought that was. I just like the sarcasm that he kind of has. There was another one that had a whole lot of swearing in it. I can't remember what one that was. Oh, Vox Machida, VOX, Vox Machida, something like that. I like it. It's got tons of swearing in it. I'm like, I could watch this. I can watch this.
You know what my secret was for the whole anime verse, and again I say I know little to nothing about it, but much like movies, like superhero movies, DC, Marvel, all that universe. I didn't really watch it when like what are the common ones? I can't even think of them, but when I really got introduced to it was when me and my girlfriend watched Arcane, and I related to the superhero universe because I don't know how to follow it, right? I know there's all these stories involved and so on and so forth, but to relate it to the superhero thing, my girlfriend said, "Okay, fuck the story and just watch it as a movie." And I'm like, okay, because we've seen a bunch of the superhero movies, and so when she told me that, that's why I liked Arcane. I was like, first of all, the artwork is pristine.
Yep.
And it's just really cool. I don't know. Being an anime virgin, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, this to me is anime, so okay. I mean, there's Demon Slayer, a lot of kids like that, but I don't know. It's to me. I guess I don't watch too many cartoons, even the American cartoons. I mean, The Simpsons or any of those.
Oh my God, you would hate me. You know what I'm watching every now and then? Gummy bears.
No. That's not even on the radar at all.
My girlfriend looks at me and she says, "Are you fucking 4?"
Yeah. I watch Care Bears.
Care Bears.
Oh Jesus! No, thank you. I like retro TV. I'm not going that retro. So you might want to turn your TV off, Klayre, because I can hear your TV.
Can you? It's only on low.
I hear it.
It's also 5 feet away, so I have no control over it.
Oh, yeah, because
It's all in the same.
because it's not me. Because Alvin says you need to turn your TV down. I was like, that's not me.
No, it's all me. Yeah, it happens.
It's not me.
Yeah. F is for Family is F is for Family is awesome. I love Bill Burr. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Nook.
I tried a couple episodes of that, and it was because that's the one with the pirates type thing, isn't it?
What?
It had like pirates in it. Wasn't there pirates in F is for Family?
No, F is for Family is about Bill Burr is the father figure growing up in with his kids and stuff growing up in the 70s.
Oh, all right. Well, must be.
It's on Netflix.
I don't remember what one I was thinking of. It looks like some pirates, but I might check out.
He works for an airline. What's Eddie? What's Ted? I'm unfamiliar with that. Yeah, exactly. No, it's about being a kid in the 70s. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Let me look. Add it to my list.
If you like the 70s, I don't know if anybody knows about Vinyl with Olivia Wilde. That's a pretty cool show. That's on Netflix too, I think. No, I've got it on K-App. Vinyl.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't watch any Netflix. How dare you talk about that in front of me?
Yeah, what am I saying?
I'm gonna.
I get.
Okay, yes, I think I did watch one episode of this. Now I do remember.
I get my shit from everywhere. We do K-App, we do YouTube, everything. We were watching Cheers last night.
Yeah.
And I was watching The Nanny this morning.
Oh, with Fran Drescher?
Ms. Drescher, yeah.
So what are you drinking? That's a beer. Isn't that a beer?
Yep.
I'm having my beers. I'm having them tonight. I'm saving myself.
Yeah, there you go. Nook Vinyl. Yep, it's a cool show. I like I like how Vinyl opened. No spoilers, but the opening scenes of it are really fucking cool. Yeah, you wouldn't expect it. It's like it opens in with the lead character whose name I forget, but he's also in Old Dads with Bill Burr. But anyway, it opens in like Lower Manhattan in the 70s, and it's this whole thing. It's really interesting. I liked it.
1970s New York, jaded record executive.
It's about there you go, exactly. Yeah.
The one I will having tracked on my phone is awesome because no matter where I'm at, I can pull it up and then add it to my playlist, and then it shows up on my TV. I'm able to.
Speaking of media and everything, how do you feel about AI?
Oh, well, we were talking a little bit about that.
I got some thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, it worries me. And we were talking about it yesterday that it's almost like we've been predestined. If you look at some of the stuff that's happening, it's headed down a scary road. I think in some aspects it can be useful, but the problem is the more that we move forward as a society, I think we make things easier for ourselves, right? We make things easier, making it more efficient. Make machines do certain different things, and before long, there won't be. What jobs will people have? And it's like, where do people get a job? What are people going to do? Because I'll use an example in India. So they didn't have any motorized street sweepers, like you see here, sweeping the street,
right,
sucks up the sand away. They actually have people doing it because that's a job for somebody. And it's a job that someone makes money.
Yep.
Job that makes somebody money that they actually can provide for their family. So I'm wondering, as we go farther in this rabbit hole, we're going to eliminate more and more positions, then what do you do with those people? And everyone's like, oh, they can just go do something else. Well, but if we continue,
Well, what's that
to
something
narrow down,
else?
yeah, so we're getting rid of manufacturing jobs unless you're in certain countries
And certain industries.
Yeah, and so we've narrowed down the jobs for people. What is everyone going to do? Is you can't even say fast food, because before long you're already getting rid of. When you go to McDonald's, you type on a little screen, so you don't even have to talk to the person until you pick up your food, and they say, order whatever, and they set it down. So we continue to automize or automation to make it easier for us. But the thing is, not everybody's going to be a doctor.
The word you're looking for is automate.
Automate, yeah. But not everyone's going to be a doctor. Not everyone's going to be a position of those. So what do you do with all the other people that are not motivated or intelligent enough to do some of those other jobs?
Well, you know what? Thank you for saying that, because me and my girlfriend had that conversation about different industries a couple of years ago, to give it loose numbers. And what we were talking about, to tie this into the whole AI thing, and by the way, I live with an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But what we were talking about was the divide between industry demand for certain professions against the people who are going into them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what we were talking about was basically, yes, the demand for these positions in these respective fields, but also who's going into them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what these industries want, despite their own needs. And it was a male-female conversation, because in certain fields, in high-octane professions, the argument was that there's not a lot of females in certain professions, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
And me and her both said to each other, okay, well, fine. Okay, you're lacking people in this field. Fine. Okay, cool. But what people are failing to understand is, okay, we want to meet, we want to meet a certain mandate created by us for biochemistry with females. Okay, well, that's all fine and good, but first you need females who want to do that.
Yeah, to have people in that want to be in that field. Yeah.
Or IT. It doesn't matter what you feel you need. You need the bodies who want to do that.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So this might sound like a twist of logic, but to bring that back to the IT thing, well, actually, this comes completely away from that, but it made sense in my head.
In my head, it was making sense.
Yeah, on paper, it looked good. With the AI thing, I have a bone of contention with it, because yes, I do live with an artist, and her theory is it doesn't matter what the AI is being applied to. You're taking food off the table of real artists, like her.
Yeah. Did you see the video? There's a video that was by Sora. They put a big video, or had a number of videos. I showed it yesterday on the show, and it shows the quality of AI produced video, like right now. And now, is it perfect? No. But if you think of where it was a year ago and where it is now, give it 1 or 2, 3 more years, you're talking about unless you're really looking at it, it's almost hard to discern that it's an AI generated picture or video.
Gotcha.
And it's a woman walking down a street. You can see the street lights. You can see people behind her. You see the reflection of the lights in a water. They had like the streets are wet, so you can see the reflection of the lights from the buildings in the water and on the streets. And so you're thinking, if this is where you're at now, It's only going to get better. I mean, this is the worst it's going to be. Is what, you know what I mean? It's only going to get better. And so yes, you're going to when you say, hey, I just want a video of this content, and it goes through and creates that. Hey, there's jobs of people that aren't getting paid to do that. Again, what are people going to do? You got to have a job. People that in our society, that's how it works.
In plain language, the whole and you know what? I'll preface what I'm about to say with I'm friends with a DJ and producer and a label owner in Vienna, in Austria, and she uses AI imagery to promote tracks that she's releasing. Now, I say that because I'm not going to slight her on that. Why? Because she's not replacing herself with AI. She's using like if you want to use the word cartoon loosely, relating to AI, you know what I mean? She's using an AI cartoon to promote her music, which I have no issue with. What I do have an issue with is people that replace themselves or use AI, because I mean, AI is only as intelligent as you let it be. You have to tell it what to do, which I don't think is I mean, as long as you have the capacity for rational thought, you can operate AI, as far as I know. I have a friend back in my hometown who does it for a living. He does augmented and virtual, all this bullshit, right? But it just, I don't know. I don't plan on using it for my show. And I feel for people like my partner, because she, as an artist, is genuinely offended by the whole AI space.
Yeah. Well, you know, did you see it was 6-8 months ago where they went in for music and said we want someone that sounds like Eminem, and we want these type of genres, this style of music, we want this and this, and this is the style of format one. And the AI created a whole song. It sounded like Eminem, but it wasn't Eminem, but it had his sound. But it was it was almost like you created something, or music was created and music was playing with voices and all that's could replace, you know, an artist that's trying to create music. Why pay Eminem if you're going to just type in that, hey, this is what I want. I want a song about, you know, pickup trucks and dogs and, you know, your wife leaving you, but I want it I want it sung by, you know, Tupac, you know, in his voice, and I want it in this type of thing, and it goes through and kicks it out. So to me, it's worrisome, because that's going to it could possibly replace the whole music industry. And if you do that for movies, I mean, again, we're not at that technology yet, but if you look at where we were at 1 year ago and where we are now, it is mind-boggling.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And then we talked about NVIDIA, how much money NVIDIA is worth more. NVIDIA is worth more than Amazon or Google.
Really?
So, yes, it was $1.3 billion or $1 trillion. I can't recall the number, but they were worth more than Google or Amazon. NVIDIA. And that's only because of it's all fueled by the AI. Now, they've been around making video cards and all kinds of stuff for years, and they've done well. But now AI, since they are the leaders in AI. In AI.
Oh, really?
Yes. They have skyrocketed. It said that if you'd have bought $1,000 worth of shares in NVIDIA 10 years ago, $1,000 would be worth $175,000 today in 10 years. $1,000 becomes $175,000.
Fuck me.
So but it's all fueled by the AI industry and the demand, and don't know where it's going to go. So everybody's jumping in on it.
So what's NVIDIA doing with AI?
They're the ones that are helping to create the graphics cards and the chips that help run it.
Oh, okay.
Because to crunch the numbers, to create it. So they're doing that. They're writing the software that's doing it. So they are the engine that's driving the software and the ability to do it. Because you can't do it off of you're not going to be able to do it off a little bitty device. You got to have devices and hardware that can.
Oh, so what you're saying is NVIDIA are the industry leaders on this, and you mentioned Google a second ago, and so it basically sounds like a simple matter of Google just isn't doing this, or they suck at it.
They are just not the leaders right now.
Yeah.
So you would have thought Google would have been pretty much, and Google is in it, but NVIDIA having the hardware side of it and the technology has raced ahead of them. And people feel like they're again. It's what is it? The stock value or something like that. I can't remember what I had read. It's crazy. I mean, we're living in a time where you don't know where it's going to go.
It will. Eddie's telling us it will get to a point where there isn't. Well, yeah, exactly right, Eddie. Yeah. It's
Terminator.
It is here. But
Skynet.
Whether we like it or not, I feel like it's something that has been here, but it's just lately come into common consciousness. Yeah. Whether we like
it's gotten better. It's gotten better. That's the thing. If you looked at before, you were like, oh my God, that's terrible. They had one of Will Smith was eating. It was 1 year ago. AI created this thing where Will Smith was eating, and it was so ugly. It looked like almost puppet way that the AI had crammed the videos together. And then you look at where it is today. I don't know. Let me see. If you looked up, like I said, look up, there's a website called Sora, S-O-R-A, I think Sora.com. And they had those links, or they had those videos playing. It's like, I was blown away. Like, holy shit. I don't know. I've seen too many sci-fi movies that turned out bad. So
this all reminds me of what was it? It was around 2020, what was it? 2011, 2012. I was working for a company that billed themselves as a dating agency downtown, or like an IT company, whatever the fuck it was. Their website showed absolutely nothing related to what they actually did. What they actually did versus their website was they created and ran 12 adult X-rated hookup sites, right? Mirroring other dating apps and Facebook clones and shit like that, right? They created 12 of these fuckers. And they had a dev division downstairs, and they had a blog and everything. And I mentioned the blog because I was in the customer service queue, and I turned out to be good at what I did. And so through conversations with my supervisory staff, I was afforded the opportunity to write for their blog, right? And that was when I was introduced to article spinning and SEO, which is search engine optimization, keywords and shit. Now, for those that don't know, article spinning is if you write a paragraph about making eggs, right? And you want to put it out into the ether and see what people say and so on and so forth. There's a tool out there to do with article spinning where if you want to expand or edit your own article, you can throw your paragraph into this article spinning tool, and it will spin it 16 different ways for you automatically. But now to relate that to the AI thing, it's a neat tool, but I could have done that myself.
Yeah, but it would take time.
Because I know how to speak English.
But it's all about, it spits it out, however quick. Instead of you manually and paying you.
The advantage is I write that paragraph about eggs. It might take me an hour or two to write 16 more, but I can throw my blurb into this article spinning tool, and I'll have 16 versions in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so now they're not paying that person to you an extra hour or however long it would have took you to do it. It's all about trying to save, big business saving money. And
It's all about the almighty dollar.
I mean, if we look at I don't know, things have been so crazy in the last 3 years or 4 years.
But do we like it or are we embracing it? I don't know. This is 2024. I mean, if we were having this conversation in 1995, projecting sort of idea, like, I mean, for Christ's sake, related to what we're doing right now, if somebody told me in high school in 1996 that I would be doing this with you right now, despite the fact that you live in the same province, I would have said, first of all, what's a live stream?
Yeah. What's a laptop?
What's a lap? Well, laptops did exist, but you know what I mean?
I'll never be able to afford one of those things to be able to do what you're able to do. I mean, I don't know. I look at a lot of what's going on now, and I wonder how things in especially the last 5 years, how things have gotten so just spun up and just, how go buy groceries or go do anything. And it's like, what, how, where is this creation of inflation? Like, where did it come from? How is it that you can't get enough products? I mean, how many things are on back order? You try to get something done. What used to be able to get done, like if you had to have your car worked on. Remember the last time I had my car worked on? It was a couple weeks that they'd have my car. Well, I've had a friend that hit a deer down in the States. Had to go get a car worked on. It was like 3 months. 3 months to because of the parts, and this was back ordered and that's back ordered. And it's like, how does the supply chain fall apart that much?
Oh, it does. Oh, yes.
And then the cost of everything, it's like, I don't know.
I have thoughts on that, but I'm going to tell everyone that Nook's telling us in high school, teachers said you would never have a calculator in your pocket. And now we have a computer in our pocket.
Oh, yeah. Because
that is beyond a shadow of a doubt, every syllable true.
Yep. And because remember, we had to learn our times tables and all that stuff. Kids now, I'm at the high school, and I'm telling you, you'd be amazed on how many kids don't know their times tables.
My dad drilled me on mine.
Oh, he would hit you constantly. I remember,
my dad had flashcards.
And I remember teachers didn't let you slide on it. You had to know it, like be able to do it. And you're not going to have a calculator. You got to figure it out. Now, kids, calculator it's part of your school equipment now. Because not every kid has a phone. I mean, most kids do. Not every kid has a phone on them, but if they're in a math class, here's a calculator. You can type out your stuff, find out your answers, and I'm like,
well, fucking in grade 7 math, I had a calculator, so I don't know. But it wasn't mine; it was supplied by the teacher. Yeah,
but just the simple part of being able to say 10% off.
I can't do that.
You think of something. Well, I can do it. I think something that is $20, and they say it's 10% off. But right away, I can go. That's $2 minus the 20 is 18.
My girlfriend has a really cool trick to calculate that percentage. I forget what she said though, but it's really fucking easy. It's idiot proof, and it works.
Well, I can always think of 10. If I can think of 10, then that I can go. 20% is just double my 10, or 15% is the 10 plus a half more. So in my head, I can just look at something and they'll say, unless it's something weird like 37.98 or something, I gotta think about, okay, it's close to 40. But other than that, I mean, if it's something simple,
fractions and shit. But to go back to what you were saying about supply chain, this is amazing. I recently, would you believe this? I recently finished a book that I got a number of years ago. I do read now and then. And it's the first book I've finished in quite some time. I did it all on a month of night shifts. And the book is written by a guy by the name of Michael C. Chettleberg, and he's one of Canada's foremost authorities on gang culture, actually. And I mention that because of what you said about supply chain. Would you believe that in less than the first half of that book, among all the other factors that involve how gangs form and the whole gang world, right? He explains how, oddly enough, or maybe not, the fact that something as important as supply chain and shipping, right, between continents and whatnot, believe it or not, that is a factor in how street gangs are formed.
Street gangs?
Yes, like the Bloods and Crips kind of idea. It blew me away. And it all comes down to economy.
Yeah.
And no jobs is the simple language. When I read that section, I was like, what the fuck? Really?
Well, it's all held together
pretty industry, yeah. I never expected to read that.
I just think, I mean, it's all held together with paper clips and duct tape, to be honest. Wouldn't take much to make things fall apart. We can see that. You know?
Speaking of that, you know what? We watched a doc, what was it? Let's call it a couple of years ago, I guess, when we were all in lockdown. And my girlfriend found this documentary about bubble tea, funny enough. And how, like, all it was involving was all the shortages in shipping that were happening during COVID. And this thing was what, an hour and a half or something like that? I don't remember. This is fucking amusing. But believe it or not, one of the driving factors, and this is a cause and effect sort of idea, one of the driving factors in all the delays in international shipping that the U.S., because they were pinpointing the U.S., were experiencing was because of bubble tea.
Okay.
I looked at Tristan and I said, what the fuck?
Bubble tea. Was it the little jelly things that were holding up production?
I wish I was joking, but this is true.
It's crazy.
All of the shipping, like all the international shit that happened, if not the only, but one of the causes was some issue to do with fucking bubble tea at these shipping yards.
Must have been bringing in how many tractor trailer loads that was holding up inspections, all those little jelly balls, cases and cases of them.
Supply chain is based on a system called just in time. One item missed, the whole system is messed up. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, Eddie, because the company I work for, my day job, most of our order production is based on just on time shipping. We can, because I have my lineup that I follow every day for my machines, because I feed machines. And yeah, my supervisor fucks me up on a daily basis because he'll say, "Oh, run this." Oh God. We have a ton of supply. We have a ton of supply of marijuana with pot stores on every block. Yes, we do. Guest dealers felt that crunch. Yeah, right. Felt that crunch. Yeah. And companies don't hold stock because of just in time. Well, we do because we're assholes. Well, my company is. The fucking my company deals in paperboard, Nook, and all my superiors they're pretty open about it. We have a mix of customer product and our own, like paper rolls, and our downfall is we could be charging our customers for warehousing, but we don't. Now, the flip side to that is a coworker I used to have, but he got let go for reasons that are irrelevant. He told me of another company who did the same thing we do, warehousing customer rolls of paperboard. But if that company or if their customer didn't run what they wanted in a day, they were charged $500 a day for warehousing. I was like, well, why aren't we doing that? Maybe we'd get rid of some shit.
Yeah. Well, well, they may not want to get rid of it because you think about it. It's all about being able to. I would think it's about retaining the customers you're trying to retain.
It is, yes.
Because if they can trust you and you're willing to do that, that's something that somebody else isn't willing to do.
Because I mean, and it's funny you say that because we have we have, let me say, two or three customers who are our rock stars, and one of them is our top. They've got 3 locations in Ontario down my way here. Mm-hmm. They've been with us since before I got at the company, and they're still with us. And holy fuck, you want to talk about a company sucking someone's dick? Jesus Christ, we bend over backwards for these cunts.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier to keep a customer than to try to get a new customer. I know when I was in the grocery business, they used to talk about customer retention, which was high on the list. Like, so, if a customer came in and they wanted something, unless it was really outrageous, you were to make them happy. Because how long did it take you to make them a loyal customer? And since they are a loyal customer, if you lose them, how long before you get another customer, and how much do you have to give them or cut them breaks or give them a deal to get them to be a loyal customer? So it's like it's cheaper to keep them, So we used to do anything to keep customers. I mean, unless a customer was just completely off the field, we would do whatever. I used to tell people, what it costs us, costs us a little bit to make that customer happy. Like someone come in and say, I was unhappy with my purchase I got last week. It wasn't any good. Okay. Didn't ask for a receipt. I didn't ask for, hey, show me. Like, all right, here's another one. Because it's just in the scheme of it, it's just easier and you're better off. So. But I do think even with my other company, when you talk about that just in time, my company, they didn't want you to warehouse anything there with them. They're like, well, you get how many delivers a week? You can just order it. And I'm like, well, what happens when the warehouse? The warehouse, they'll have it. Well, sure shit, it gets near an end of a sale and then, warehouse is out. It's like if I'd ordered it and had it, but they don't want you because there's a risk of there's an inventory spot. There's a risk of losing it, as in you might have shrink or it might go out of date. There's some companies are like, we'd rather use the warehouse to maintain that supply than to allow all of our retail places to control their, and it makes sense. So, but yeah. And so if we were out of something, I'd be like, well, I ordered it. Y'all can have it. That's what we do. What the fuck?
Yeah. So now you're in education, are you?
Yeah.
Was that a transition for you, or is that something you already had under your belt?
No.
How did you go from what you were doing down south to education?
Well, I just
and in the same breath, what is it you do? What are you, principal somewhere?
No. I just work with kids with special needs. So kids that are kids that are struggling with, So I'll work with kids that are struggling with whatever, be it behavioral or if it's learning, whatever the issue. I'll work with those kids to help them get through high school, And so I'll be assigned different kids, different periods, and I'll work with them. And then,
how high octane of an issue do you go into, or do you care?
What do you mean, like What do you mean? Like how crazy does it get with some kids, or what do you mean?
Basically, like you just said, you're dealing with behavioral issues and so on and
Mhm,
so forth, but
mhm.
um, not knowing the education system and not knowing your skill level. Um, do you deal with students who have severe mental deficits?
Some,
Okay.
some. I had one student that I was working with for a little while. I'm not working with that student any longer. That was probably a mental capability of about of a 2 year old,
And the student was
uh,
how old?
16
Oh, wow.
at a
Okay.
high school,
Right.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
completely, nonverbal.
Oh, okay.
And you're talking, like I said, the mental
On the spectrum or
capacity
no?
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
and
Good.
there was a lot of things going on with that, but again, you're talking mental capacity of a 2 or 3 year old. So if you can just think of a 2 or 3 year old, but he's in a
I
16
follow.
year old body,
Yeah.
and you would get tantrums, and you would get, just all kinds of stuff. But that wasn't a student I worked on all the time. But I can deal with students that are just uh, have attention issues. Almost all of them have attention issues because of the fucking phones. But um, you got that, and I may have, from some have learning disabilities, can't retain information. They struggle with the simplest stuff. So I worked on that. And I mean, I was a butcher for 35 years in the States, so I did that my whole life. Working in a store doing that stuff. And when I came here, I told Blue I wanted to do something different. I said, I want to work a job that's a Monday through Friday job. I want to
Cool.
work a normal hours, because retail, you work whenever. You may work, retail, you're working 7 days a week. It doesn't matter. And I wanted a structured time. And she, gave me I don't want to say permission, but said, "Hey, find a job
Leeway.
yeah, you find a job that you're happy with. I want you to be happy, and I don't want you to be stressed out every day.
Oh,
I
you
don't
mean
want."
Blue? You don't mean
Yes,
your
yes,
work
yeah,
environment?
Blue, yeah,
Sorry. Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So
I get
yeah,
you.
she's like, I want you to be something you're happy with, and she goes, "Whatever you do."
Well, would
And I
you,
kind of fell into this, and
given
I
given
did well.
given given that it was Blue, would you? I think maybe permission is a strong word.
Yeah, I meant permission isn't right. It just,
She
I
just said,
guess
"Do." She just said, "Do you, Boo?"
yeah, and I think that she kind of made me not feel guilty, or I didn't have the pressure to say, well, I got to go do something where I make more money. If I'd have went back into retail, being a butcher, sure, I'd have made more money. It
Well,
definitely would
I know who
have. I
she
would have
is, and
doubled,
I
double, or
wouldn't
even almost tripled what I was making. But it's about
I
quality of
wouldn't think
life.
I wouldn't think she'd be breathing down your neck over this.
No, no. And that's when I came here, she's like, you do what makes you happy. I want you to be happy, and I want you to
Yeah.
enjoy. And I kind of looked at, when moving here, it was like a second chance of life kind of thing. You say midlife,
How
people
did
say
you feel
midlife
about that, by the
crisis.
way?
About,
When you came from the Carolinas to here,
yeah.
was it a holy fuck moment for you, or did you care?
Well, no, that was a big move. It's a
Yeah, I
big,
imagine.
it's a big, it was a big decision. But I also, there was a lot of factors that all kind of came together at the same time about, you need to, I've got the realization you got to live your life and enjoy your life, because guess what? It can be gone tomorrow. I mean, I could have a heart attack. I could drive a car, and people say that, but you don't. I got to a point where, when Blue and I were, figuring out where I was gonna go, where is she gonna move to me, or I'm gonna move to her, and we back and forth. And I said, you know what? My kids are, well, now they're 30 and 28. They're not little kids. They're got their lives, and I'm like, they can handle it. And I'm willing to take a chance, because if you don't take a chance, you're never gonna know. And if you don't know, you live with regret. And I wasn't. Where I am in my life, I don't want to live with a regret of, what if? Maybe it would have been great. Maybe it would. I didn't want that. And so when I said, you know what, fuck it, doing it. And so moved here, went through the whole rigmarole of resident, being a permanent resident, all the paperwork and then getting here
that
and getting a
carnival of
job.
paperwork.
Oh, but you know what? I mean, you just got to be organized. And you
All
just
the
got to
visas and everything.
just stay on it. And so doing all that and then coming here and then changing my job, I really believe.
You haven't been here for 5 years yet, right?
No. I've been here 2.5.
Because if my knowledge is correct, the threshold for citizenship is 5 years.
No, I don't want to be a citizen.
Oh, okay.
I'm a permanent resident, which means I can do everything and get anything except
Vote.
vote. And I mean, you know what? Fine.
Who gives a fuck?
I can
Whatever.
vote. And actually, what's funny, see, I'm still an American citizen. I can vote back home. So,
Sure.
and America is more important than Canada anyway. So my vote over there.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
No. So, but yeah, I look at.
I'm Canadian, and I'm gonna agree with every syllable of that.
Yeah. Her and I have the whole thing. We are always joking about
America's
the
more important than Canada.
I say we're the center of the world. And she's
Fucking hell.
I said just like an American. I'm like, fucking A. I mean, what the hell? So, but I looked at a lot of where I had been in my life and things that I've experienced set me up for where I am today doing what I'm doing. And this job plays into my personality, my temperament. I mean, to me, I can deal with kids having meltdowns and whatever. I can deal with it. I've had kids just completely going nuts. Okay. And I'm just, calm, cool, just all right. And I wait them out. And usually, it's all you gotta do. And then I just talk to them like they're a person. I talk to people and I'm like, hey, is this really what you want to do? All you're doing is setting yourself up, for more problems. And I try to rationalize in a way with them and saying, hey, I understand you're having a bad day, but you going and doing this has done nothing but made your day a whole lot worse. Is that worth it? So I try to, give them that rationalization of it. So it works well. I've most all kids that I've dealt with, I can have a good rapport with, and I come home feeling good. I come home feeling like I did something. I did a difference today.
And you're a good person, so I can totally see you thriving in what you're doing. It reminds me of my own partner who. Many years ago, she used to babysit like we all did. And she, at some point in her life, she was keeping care of this one individual, this guy whose name escapes me. But he was in his 30s, and he had the mentality of a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And I only mention that because I've heard all the stories, and she spoke to him the same way me and you are speaking now.
Yep.
And it was, and that's who she is. She doesn't give a fuck who you are. I mean, she worked for a certain coffee shop downtown here many years ago for a decade, and even in that line of work, Starbucks, she saw a complete myriad of co-workers and customers from different walks of life and street people from downtown here. And again, I say she dealt with her co-workers who are having meltdowns and the street people the same way me and you are talking right now.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking human beings.
Yeah. You have to treat people with respect.
It sounds cheesy, but me and her have a decade or so, over a decade together now, and she amazes me, and I've learned so much from her as a person myself, because I am not that person.
Well, it's so funny because Blue says the same thing. Her and I have had that conversation of, she's like, I couldn't do what you do.
Like
she goes, I'd be like saying, pull your head out of your ass, or or she's like, I'd be calling these kids out. I'm like, yeah, but kids get called out all the time. I mean, I'll call them out on stuff
by their peers, though. That's the thing.
You have to say it in a way. There's ways of saying things, and You
Of
know,
course there is. Yeah.
I can dance around it a little bit. I had a student just yesterday that I was dealing with. He wanted to be on his laptop, not do his work, and so I'm supposed to be working with him, and he's on his laptop, clickety clacking away, and watching videos. And I leaned over there. I'm like, "What you doing?" He's like, "Ah, nothing. Yeah, nothing." He's like, I said, you know, we need to be doing these worksheets. It was like filling out worksheets for this cooking class. And I said, the teacher's giving you open time to work on these worksheets, right? And he says, yeah. I said, you know, you've got to have these filled out because they're
Right.
going to be used.
Are you a TA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, get you. All right.
So I'm like, all right, so I said, you have to have this stuff done, right? I said, because this is going to be your study sheet notes. And he's like, in a minute. And he takes his paper that's got like 5 or 6, and I'll sometimes write for the kids. So if they tell me what they want me to write, I'll write it. So he hands me the booklet and he goes, Mr. Todd, you can go ahead and just do chapter 5 for me. And I said, pardon me? He goes, just fill out chapter 5, the sheets for chapter 5, and I'll get the rest. I went, took the paper, and I slid it back over to him, got my computer, got my notepad, and he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm leaving. He goes, well, no, I need your help. I said,
You said that?
Yeah, I said that. He said to me, he says, I need your help. I'm like, no, you don't. I said, I'm here to help. I'm not here to
who said I'm leaving?
I said I was leaving.
Oh, you said.
I was done. And so, you know, he's like, well, you can't leave me. I need you here to help me. I'm like, no, you don't. I said,
did that for a reason.
You've got YouTube or whatever videos you're doing. You got that under control. You don't need to do this.
Yeah.
And I said, and if you don't want to do the work, I said, I'm not going to do the work for you. And I'm not just going to sit here. There's other kids that I could help. I said, there's plenty of other kids that want me in their classroom to help them do whatever their work is.
So he was so he was outright telling you he knew what he had to do, but he was outright telling you to do it for him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he would rather watch videos on the laptop. And I was like, no.
That's
so
wild.
Again, so instead of me arguing with him or, you know, putting me in a, you know, this type of situation.
I don't want to fucking do this. You do it.
I'm like, you know what? I don't need to be here because I've got other kids I help. And so I got up and I left. I left the class. I went to another classroom where I knew some kids needed help and sat and helped them. So I see that student at the end of school. And then he has to come back in and bring his laptop. And he goes, Mr. Todd, I didn't get that sheet done. I said, not my problem. He goes, well, you're supposed to help me. I said, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do. Help. I said, I'm not supposed to do. I help. And I said, if you can't help yourself, it ain't my job to do it for you. I said, you know what? When you go out on these streets and you go get a job, I said, do you think that somebody else is going to do the job for you, or you think that your employer is going to expect you to do the job? I said, they're going to expect you to do the work. I said, so me doing the work for you doesn't help you. I said, no.
And the skill comes in being able to convey that to that mind.
Yeah, because where he is, and again, he has a number of things on the spectrum, and
sure.
So he has anger issues. So there's so many things that if you hit it the wrong way, you know that he's going to then it's going to be this today, you know, then nobody wins.
Chad agreeing with us. Yep.
Yeah. So it's amazing. But again, what my point was, so at the end, I told him all that, and I'm like, well, you can catch your bus, you know? And he says, he goes, when we come back to school on Tuesday, he says, you're going to go to the class with me and help me? I said, I will be there to help you. I said, are you going to help do it yourself, or are we going to hang on the computer? No, we're going to do the work. All right, then I'll be there for you. But again, it's just, you got to set those boundaries, and they're willing to do it now. But it is a rewarding job when I come home or at the end of a day, or if I help kids finish it, actually pass a class. There's kids where I'm thinking, this kid's never going to pass this class. But if I work with them enough, you know, and give them all the tools and encouragement, you know, they do it. And there's some kids, and it's amazing. I had one student that I worked with. I felt so bad. This student's horrible in math. I'm talking about, you said 3 + 5 or 3 + 2. That student is struggling to figure out that it's 5. 2 plus
Mhm.
3, and cannot get. So I had this worksheet that I printed out, and I said,
That was
I
me,
was
for
working,
God's sakes.
I was working with this student each day about simple math. And the student was like, okay. And I said, all right, what I want you to do is take this home, because it was a long weekend at one point. So I want you to take this home. And I said, you ain't gonna do it every day, but one day, one of those weekend days, I want you to do this sheet. Simple, like three, like a hundreds number in tens. I want you just to do the sheet. Just simple math. Bring it to me on Monday. And the student came back on Monday and had it done. And I could tell that they had done it because I could tell with the writing it wasn't some. And the student told me that their dad made fun of them because they were doing third grade math or second grade math, and they're in high school. And I'm thinking,
Fuck that.
what kind of parent is going to belittle their student or their kid because of some math? And if anything, I would be concerned as a parent that my high schooler is doing third grade math. That, hey, if my kid is working and this is what they're struggling with, I better as a parent do something. And it just amazed me when she said, yeah, my dad made fun of me. What kind of parent does that? I mean,
I do have thoughts on that, and in my best radio voice, I'm going to go for a P. Just want to remind my listeners for SoundCloud when it gets there that I'm talking to my dear friend Todd today, a new Canadian resident. We're just talking some shit today about anything and everything. Given what you just said, Todd, I'm going to go for a P, and I have some thoughts on what you just said. So
go pee.
you can get a drink, or everybody
Hey,
chill.
I'm gonna go grab me a water. Hold on a second.
Eddie G, you're in charge.
Yeah, Eddie's got it. Is this Klayre peeing? Let's party. Look at Eddie needs something to do. Eddie, go. You need something to do, bud. It's a Saturday, sunny day outside. Probably need to go shovel some snow, Ed. Vote for none of the above. And Nookie, you're right. Quality of life.
Okay. You just engaged. So what I was going to say, many years ago, what was it? This was, and yes, by the way, we're back after the pee and drink interlude. I started my show, about 4 years ago or so by now, over on Instagram. And all I was doing was going live on Instagram and casting SoundCloud to my TV and doing a mix analysis thing, right? Walking people through the different sounds and whatnot. And I had a fuck it moment. Mm-hmm. And this goes back to what you were saying a second ago. I've always been somewhat of a media nerd. It fascinates me. And art, right? Artistry. Mm-hmm. What was it, grade 3 or 4? Whatever grade you're in when you're 12 or 11. I used to, back in those years, I used to draw like Archie and Garfield. And this goes toward what you were saying about parental encouragement, right? Mm-hmm. I got so adept at drawing Archie and Garfield and all the things I was drawing that I started off looking at them and then drawing them, right? You follow along. Mm-hmm. I came to a point at such a young age that I didn't need the comic books anymore to draw these figures. I just did it on my own. Yep. And I would run downstairs and look at Mom and Dad and say, "Hey, look what I did, Archie or Mr. Weatherby or whatever it was." And I fucking loved it. So that went on for a bit, and I guess Mom and Dad looked at each other and went, "Okay, well, if she likes this, let's throw in an art class and see what happens." And in my hometown, there was at the time, I don't know if he's still around, but there was a rather prominent artist who everyone knew, who was offering classes. So my mom and dad threw me in the class, and I don't remember the specifics, but I seemed to have been better on my own than in the class for some reason. Maybe it was a structure thing. I don't know. But countering that, I did thrive in grade 12 art. Not bragging, but I just did. Damn good. But what my point is to what you were saying a second ago about this whole parental engagement thing. Mm-hmm. Back when I was drawing Garfield and all those characters, say up until grade 6 or so, right? Any encouragement that was happening in elementary school stopped because elementary here is, well, on PEI was 1 to 6, junior high or middle school is 7 to 9, okay, and then high school is 10 to 12. As soon as I hit grade 7, junior high, all my encouragement ended. As long as I had my, I don't remember continuing with my drawing, but I did in spurts and bits and pieces because I had a friend I used to draw with just for fun. He's now an architect. But me and my partner have talked about this and I relate this to my own show in that, and me as a person, because people are going to say what they're going to say, but I do my show because I had a fuck it moment and I enjoy it. Yep. But I don't think I think I'm garbage personally, and I don't do my show because I think I'm hot shit. I do my show because I enjoy it. Yep. And it's been, and that went from grade 7 to fucking grade 12 and on into my early 20s. I don't think I deserve anything I've ever done. I've fucked up every job I've ever had except my current one. The only blessing I have is this, my show, and the person who's sitting 20 feet away from me.
That's. I mean, was your family having their own issues, or where you got no encouragement? Because encouragement is needed in the home. I mean, that is the mental development, emotional development happens because of your home. There was
always breakfast on the table and Christmas in the living room and so on and so forth. Yeah. All that fun, and clothes on my back, me and my sister. Yeah. But I never, come grade 7, there was never good for you.
Now,
There was never you did well on that assignment, good for you on that grade. Right? It stopped. And it got even worse in high school.
yeah,
There was zero.
Yeah, trying to think of it as a parent. I mean, were your parents going through their own issues at that time to where they were so self-absorbed that they couldn't?
I found that out.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to think as an adult how you can't. I don't know. I mean, I felt like I was a pretty good father and still am, but I know everyone gets wrapped up in their own lives, but your kid, their development and how they feel about themselves and what kind of relationships they're going to be in is stems on that relationship that you're fostering in them as in their home. Because if they miss something and missing something at home, the next thing you know, they're in bad relationships because they feel like they don't deserve anything better. You know,
there was two instances that I can remember way back in the day. One involved me and one involved my sister.
Mm-hmm.
She's 5 years over me, so she was in, say, junior high or maybe early high school at the time. I don't remember. Maybe late junior high.
Yep.
But she was about 15, 16 or so, and I was 10 or 12, whatever. And what was happening with her was, and I'm giving my parents credit here, my father especially, despite what he turned into. With my sister's situation, she had a girl she went to school with who, for reasons I've never known, and neither does she, every move my sister made, this girl was, for all intent and purpose, stalking her. She couldn't go to the mall. She couldn't go to the movies, anything. If my sister and her friends went to a movie, this other girl and her posse were waiting outside the doors to beat the fuck out of my sister.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was bad. I remember one night she went to the movies on a cheapy night, and my dad had to go pick her up because this other girl was waiting for her outside the doors. And so that was that. And my dad kicked into gear and said, okay, we got to do something about this. I don't remember what happened, but it was pretty serious. My sister was basically an eyelash away from having the fuck beat out of her. So my situation was, I was old enough to go into juvie, right? And me and a bunch of friends of mine got the bright idea on a Saturday morning to go downtown to the mall and shoplift. And I'm the bright bulb in the crowd who got caught. I got driven to my driveway by the cops. And my dad was working at juvie. My mom said, okay, wait till your father gets home.
Yeah.
He fucking tore the white right off me. He sent me to my room because he knew all the management downtown. That's who he was. Because for a while he did maintenance down on the waterfront, so he had a key for every lock.
Oh,
yeah, and he was, because my case almost went to court, and he knew the judge, so he was in contact that I didn't know about, right? So he said to me one day. He said to me the day after. He said, all right, you're not going to court, but I know who the judge is. And he said, it's your first offense. They've thrown it out of court. I said, okay. But he said, do you want me to tell you what would have happened? I said, okay, go ahead. He said, you wouldn't have gotten time. What would have happened is you would have gone in front of Judge Thompson, and his goal would have been to scare the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
He said he wouldn't have charged you. First offense, 12 years old. But he said he would have put the fear of God in you.
Yeah.
And I never did time. So with this whole, I say all this because of the whole parental encouragement thing. No, I didn't get much encouragement on through my years, but when push came to shove, my mom and dad were there when I was younger for me and my sister both.
Well, that's good. I mean, but Yeah, that's a scary, especially when 12, 13, and you're.
I was scared shitless.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I mean, I guess I was smart enough, even though there's a lot of things I could have got in trouble for when I was younger.
Fuck,
But
I
I
got
guess
caught.
I was smart enough to never get caught in the things I could have gotten caught in, and really created some legal issues at times growing up. But I was always the one that was thinking about what we were doing, and I'm like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that, but if we're going to do that, this is how we need to do that. I was the person that, because everybody else is like, let's just run in and go do this. Let's think about this.
Been there.
We can do it, but we need to be smart about how we do it. And so I always kept myself out of trouble.
We had no smarts. No.
Yeah, you got to be. Yeah, I was my brother, who he was a do first, think second. He was always. So for me, I was more kind of like, let's think about this. No, let's go. No. So usually I kept him out of trouble unless he wasn't with me. So if he wasn't with me, I was like his safety device that I kept us out of trouble. But when he wasn't with me, then he would be that impulse. And back then, I mean, and also back then, I think he had a lot of ADHD issues because we didn't have those labels on those back then. All we called him hyperactive.
Oh, that kid ain't right. Yeah,
he's hyperactive. Give him some Ritalin, he'll be fine. Well,
at least you had that, because like I said a second ago, my sister was 5 years my senior, so I still remember the first time my sister allowed me to go to the mall with her. Mm-hmm. And I got a laundry list of rules. Don't walk next to me.
Yeah.
If I stop and talk to a friend of mine, don't say you're related to me. Don't look at my friends. All this bullshit, right? Meanwhile, I was just happy to be hanging out with my sister. Yeah. It was those times, right? She was my cool sister. Now she's a fucking jerk off, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, well, sometimes we have issues with siblings.
What turned me around was joining the Air Cadets. Was in a mono. What's a mono?
Single parent. That'd be a single parent family.
Single parent. Oh, I can relate to that, Eddie. When I was 12, I was in the Air Cadets back home. Yep, I was in the Air Cadets for about a year and a half, long enough to make first rank. I made LAC back on PEI squad 53. Yep.
Look at you, Army cadet.
Fuck.
Klayre, the Army cadet.
Yeah, right. Fucking hell.
What hell?
Could you imagine?
No.
I was. You know what? Back in those days when I was a little girl, everything was fucking Army. I had 18 GI Joe vehicles. Everything was Army to me. I loved it. I loved the Air Cadets. I still remember the 5 principles of flight: suck, squeeze, bang, blow, or 4 rubber. That's true. You laugh, but that's true.
So say it again.
The 4 principles of flight: suck, squeeze, bang, blow. It's all airflow. Because the aircraft is sucking in, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought we were talking about something else for a second.
That's a different show.
I was thinking, wait, we changed subjects quick. Suck, blow, something, pressure, squeeze it. I'm gonna have to use that later on tonight. I'm gonna give it the 4. You need to do the 4.
Oh my God! In a strange twist of logic, with suck, squeeze, bang, blow. For God's sake, I talk about this a lot on my show. The burlesque group out of the States, Little Miss Nasty, are touring in New York right now. They debuted last night. Strange little thing.
I don't mind. I'll take it to a dark place. That's one thing where Blue's like, oh yeah.
Oh, I do dark all the time. I don't give a shit.
I can't help it. I mean,
I get yelled at for going dark.
Well, I went black a couple times, but I really wasn't into it too much. They were nice girls, but it really wasn't my thing.
What you mean?
When I went dark, if you get what I went when I went black. I had some black girlfriends at times, but it really wasn't my thing.
Oh, when you When you said black, I thought you meant you hit a fork in the road.
No, no. Dated a couple black girls.
Oh
They're
yeah,
all right. Yeah, it just wasn't my thing.
yeah, cool, whatever. Yeah, and you know what? Me and my partner have had that conversation too.
Yeah, Blue and I've had that conversation.
Why is it? Why the fuck is it that if you whether you're no matter who you are, but if you have not dated or been with someone who is not from your color wheel,
Yeah,
to use grade 6 language,
yeah.
why does that automatically mean you're phobic or racist? Why do we do that to ourselves as a society?
No, no, I don't think so. I mean,
Because I've never well, first of all, I'm fucking trans and I'm lucky to have a partner.
yeah, yeah.
But regardless, me and her have had this conversation, and she's been with other ethnicities. I haven't. But you know what the crux of it is? And she told me this, and I believed her because when she said it, it was true. When she said it, it hadn't dawned on me. It was a simple matter. Yes, I might have led a sheltered life on PEI, but regardless, it was a simple matter of the deck I was dealt in life didn't expose me to other communities.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that.
Well,
So
if you're out, I've said it's a Blue, and I've lived in. Now she's been with some different people from different races but I told her, I said, there's very few in here. I mean, this up here, it's like white. It's like,
yeah, no
but
shit.
where I'm from, there was a lot of there was a mixture of, I mean, because you had a lot of Hispanics, a lot of
Do you mean
black.
Carolina?
Yeah, when I was in Carolina,
Okay.
so a lot of Hispanics, black community was large, Asian community was somewhat large, but you had a lot of different that you could pick from. That's like when you hear, like you're on PEI, I can't imagine, I would imagine that to be very white area. I mean, so it's not even, you don't have an opportunity. But also, I think with some people, it is all in what you're comfortable with because, again, I've dated a couple of black girls and dated Hispanics, different race, but some of it is cultural in who you
Of
connect
course.
and who you can feel comfortable with. And like some of the girls that I was with were beautiful women and beautiful, I'll say, because they were, as when I was late teens, early 20s. So
But you
young
didn't
women.
you didn't have it here, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't, but I also culturally, I couldn't always relate.
No?
Couldn't relate with me. So there's so many of those cultural things.
For you,
Smell is another thing that was another big thing because different people smell different. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Just saying.
No, I know. It just struck me funny.
People's musk, and
Yes.
everybody's is different. And some people you're gonna know pretty quick if that person hugging them and kissing them, you're gonna know if that's like that's not. And to me, that was I think help to guide what you like. Not against it. Somebody else wants to do something different, but to me, that was a big guiding.
Which do you think is more important, relating to or respecting a person?
Respect.
Bingo.
Yeah. You got to have respect because if you don't have respect,
because you don't have to if I was with someone who doesn't look like vanilla pudding,
mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to say the word white, but if I wasn't with a white chick, it would be, and plus two, this contributes to or relates to who I am. I mean, for fuck's sakes, look at me. And this relates also to my own partner right now.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't give a fuck who you are. She didn't fall in love. She didn't fall in love with me for my physical.
Mm-hmm.
She fell in love with me for what's under here.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 1,000 levels of respect for that.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't met her, even though I'm grateful for that, I would think about that. I would think the same thing of anyone else. Meaning that I might not be able to relate to experiences you've had in the
Mm-hmm.
past,
Mm-hmm.
but I can respect the fuck out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And to me, that's where the hand holding comes in.
Yeah.
Right. I will be there for you since yesterday. I just need it reciprocated.
Yeah.
And it should be a two-way street.
Respect is, I think, the number one. I mean, because I think of this is my second marriage. My first marriage, that's where the major issue that we had as a couple was respect.
Point being, you don't have to understand, but you can hopefully you can muster respect.
Yeah, but you have to. I mean,
I cut you off.
Everybody wants to be respected, and everybody wants to be treated with respect. And if you can't, you're going to be ground down. It's going to be a grind. You see people that are in bad relationships and they're not respected by whoever they're with. Mm-hmm. That is it's a slow grind of grinding that person down.
You know what?
That was one of the things I couldn't live like that. That was one of the reasons that I got divorced on my first one.
I'm divorced too.
Mm-hmm. Are you? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I got married. I left PEI in the spring of 2003, and I was married by fall of 2004.
Oh,
in Ottawa. For really shitty reasons.
Yeah.
Well, shitty in hindsight.
Yeah. But I mean, you probably. But
I did it. I won't mince words. I did it because I thought it was what I wanted.
Yeah. At the time.
Yeah, I was young.
Yeah.
If I had to do it over again, not for $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm too strong.
But the thing is you learn from it. Even all of your bad relationships, you learn from it. So, you can wish that relationship or this or that relationship didn't work. But the thing is, you learn from it. You learn from every relationship you're in that was this good or bad for me? And am I going to ever do that again? And so to me, I can't regret any move or any relationship I've been in through my whole life, the good ones and the bad ones, because I learned more about myself in every single one of those relationships to learn who I am and what I want and what I don't want, what I won't tolerate. And that's, you can be in terrible relationship, but you know what? Hopefully you learn from it. I mean, there are people that just keep getting the same person because obviously they can't learn from it, and they're obviously gravitated towards whatever person that is. And I think in some of those situations, you're looking to get that type of behavior, so you set yourself up, to get that bad relationship, because things you've done, they just kind of, you're creating your own thing.
Speaking of regrets and all that, this little pocket of the show is reminding me of my early 20s, and basically my early 20s when I was big into the rave scene, and regrets and so on, and like stupid decisions in hindsight. I have a rather colorful history with drugs. And there was once upon a time, when I was anything for a fucking buzz. I was a fucking pillhead. If it was a pill, I was eating it. I remember one New Year's Eve, I was lucky to wake up on New Year's Day. What did I do? I did, and I'm surprised I remember this. I'm just trying to remember what I did. I did a combination of 4 painkillers and muscle relaxants and 2 hits of MDMA in one night.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up the next day alive. That's one example.
Mm-hmm.
One night, just for fun, because I wanted to see what it felt like. Do you know what Paxil is?
Paxil, no.
It's an antidepressant.
Okay.
I was looking for it one night downtown, back in my hometown, and I found a pharmaceutical dealer who I didn't know was a pharmaceutical dealer. He said, "Yeah, jump in the car. We'll go to my place." I only wanted 3 or 4 of these things just to try it on for size, right? He handed me. What did he give me? Uh, he gave me the equivalent of 3,500 milligrams, about 15 pills. I ate them all. I didn't even get high, dude. I just got fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I met up with a friend of mine downtown, and I was in his car, and I was like, my bacon was fucking fried. So he got on the phone with a friend of ours, and he said, "Okay, Klayre's doing this and that and whatever." Another pharmaceutical dealer, a friend of ours, and he said, "Keep an eye on her because she could be in the hospital having her stomach pumped."
Yeah.
I ate 3,500 milligrams of Paxil in one night.
Okay. Yeah. I never liked pills. There was.
I say all this because I'm not bragging, but I have no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Because over the years, it's turned me into a person who can speak intelligently about this stuff.
Experience.
Right? Yeah, and I'm not showing off.
Mm-hmm. But you got to be, again, that's, experience and knowing and learning. I mean,
Because I had friends who were way worse than me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think of some of my friends that when
I don't know how some of my friends are alive today.
I look at some of my friends that when crack first started, I remember.
Crack. Okay.
Crack. I remember crack when it first, because I remember friends of ours would do coke, and that was which I didn't do it on, but I mean I would do it if someone had it. I wasn't someone going to go out and buy it, or I didn't chase it down. But
Hey,
then
I
had
sorry. Music is my drug, says Eddie. Yeah, agreed. Yes, rock on. Yeah.
I saw a friend of mine that again we were doing at that time. We didn't know what crack was, and so again I would do it occasionally if I was over at her place and she had coke. We had to do something with her, but I saw her get so strung out, and she ended up losing her life because just she got caught on that hamster wheel. And I think, dang, I'm glad I didn't get hung up on it. It's just lucky.
Coke or crack?
She did coke, or when we were doing coke, we would do coke. I would say not on occasion, but she was doing coke, and then it became crack.
Oh, I see.
Because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
So hold on a second.
$5 rock.
I gotta put my headset on. I think my headphones are dying.
You're dying.
My teeth is dying. So hold on a second. Let me change my audio over here.
Eddie, what kind of music you like? What are you into, hon? I do everything from World War II to yesterday. What are you into, Eddie? Fuck, I like music where people look at me and go, "What, you like that?" Yeah, of course. I can do everyone from fucking Vera Lynn to Billie Eilish. Oh, you got the cans on now. Oh, blues. Oh, good for you, Eddie. Yeah, yeah. Who do you like in blues? I like what's his name? I don't know much about blues, but I like R.L. Burnside. I remember him from the 90s. He did a CD called what the fuck was it? What the fuck was his CD called? Oh, Todd's gone. Come On In was the CD. his grandson Cedric mixed the whole thing. It was really cool. Ivy 11 is kind of in the arena you're talking about too, if you like that stuff. Also, Dorothy. I don't know if you know the rock group Dorothy, headed by Dorothy Martin. Dorothy has a bit of an Atlanta Miles feel. R.L. Burns. Oh, you're kidding! R.L. Burnside passed away. Oh shit! I know someone who's going to be very disappointed to hear that. Oh, that sucks, my love. Ah, shitty. R.L. Burnside has passed away, I've just learned. You got audio, Todd? I can't hear you. Pinnatop Perkins. I'll have to look into him. Okay, cool. I also like. Did I say Ivy 11? I don't know. Yeah, she's kind of got a. If you remember the sound of Janet Jackson with the big band, sound or idea, Ivy 11 is kind of bluesy, whatever, bluesy, but with a fuck you kind of edge about her, if that makes sense. I got no audio, Todd. Piano player. Cool. Okay. I don't know if anyone saw or not, but right now making waves. Speaking of piano and all that, and legends of the scene, the greatest night in pop history is right now on Netflix. It's the story of the fuck's the song? We are the world. It's a really cool show. You got Michael Jackson, you got Tina Turner, you got fucking what's his name? Oh, for God's sake, I can't remember his name. I can see him. Fucking Donna Summer, Dionne Warwick, all these people. Ever listen to Why? No, I don't know that. No, I'm unfamiliar. No. You've seen the Netflix thing, the greatest night in pop history. Michael Jackson and all these people. Bob Dylan is who I was trying to think of. It was fucking funny during that show because they were trying to get everybody in key, and fucking Dylan was having such a hard time. Huey Lewis as well. Huey Lewis wasn't having a hard time. I'm just name dropping. But everyone, they were all having such a hard time getting Bob Dylan into key. So all of a sudden, Ray Charles brings him over to the piano and he goes doodly doodly doo. And they were tuning Bob Dylan into the key of the song. It was kind of cool because Dylan just couldn't muster it. What's going on? You got audio yet, Todd?
Do I have audio now?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think my headphones there I think they started to die because it was getting quieter. Eddie asked what those headphones were. They're Nothing. So they're called Nothing. And there's also a phone that's called Nothing. And that's also, I couldn't remember. I knew it was a weird name.
What's Zydeco from New Orleans? Qu'est-ce que c'est, Eddie? Sticales. Qu'est-ce que fuck? What the fuck are you talking about, gangster?
When you talk music, see, I listen to a lot of different stuff, but I also like a lot of really hard music too.
Such as?
Metallica's first two albums. Their first, Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning. I remember the first time I heard them, I was like, oh my God, what am I just listening to? But before then, I was listening to Crocus, Accept,
I have no idea who any of
Yeah,
them are.
again, they were on the heavy metal side, early Ozzy Osbourne, and I listened to a lot of that. But I also, once I moved down south, then I actually heard
Oh, Eddie's saying Creole music. Is that on point?
Krilo. Oh. Well,
Oh no, that was me asking Eddie what he's into.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't tell with that. I mean, I guess for a short while, Creo. Well, as long as it's not jazz, I can't take jazz. Jazz is the one I can't do. I can't do the just. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
we can play some if you want.
No, I'm good.
We can play some R.L. Burnside. I'm on fucking Talk Studio. I can play some fucking. I can go headlong. I can go headlong into a copyright strike.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that here.
I do have to worry about that.
YouTube is so quick to bam catch a song. A clip of a song.
I got fucking. Oh my god! I was doing a live show. What was it last year with a comic book artist from the States. I was on Twitch and here on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And she had an overhead cam and she was doing live artwork on the show of a certain nature. Twitch cut me off live show.
Yep.
I got fucking suspended for 7 days.
Yeah.
I wore it as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
But I was still live on YouTube, and my mod looks at me. He sends me a message, and he's like, "We're still live on YouTube. What the fuck is going on?"
I'm surprised they didn't catch it right. Did you get a notice later on about it?
From Twitch, yes.
But you didn't get one from YouTube later on?
No.
Because YouTube is really good for later on whenever they're running their scan of it to say, "Oh, we caught this clip. It's copyrighted music."
It was artwork.
Oh, artwork.
Yeah. Apparently, you can't draw 3 deities diking out live on camera. So I don't know. Whatever.
Live and learn.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
Oh well.
That's why I've got all the disclaimers on my show on Twitch.
Yeah, you got to put them out there. Sorry, warning. Hey, even on YouTube, I added a whole lot of more warnings to mine.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, disclaimer near the bottom of
I do it all the time.
Educational and
the most I've gotten is, "Oh, your content has been blocked in certain countries."
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't give a fuck about those countries. So.
Good point.
Not to be rude, but I don't know. So what do you want to talk about now? You're creeping up on your threshold, eh?
Yeah, I know. I got to be getting ready for our company. I still got to. Well, it's a little bit of cleaning to do. Not since it's friends, I don't have to clean up too much.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have a fun day. We're gonna have drinking, smoking, play some darts, play some video games. Down in the man cave.
That's one thing I could never get onto, darts. I can't throw a dart to save my life.
Either can I. Honestly, I suck. But I bought a board because it's like a sport that anybody can really throw at the board. Not that you can actually hit what you want to hit, but I went through and,
yes.
And don't drink all day.
Yeah, I went. One of the things I did do was I got a digital one, so I don't have to keep score. So if you hit the board, it knows what the score is. So I found that to be a whole lot easier. Yeah, right over there. Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble.
No. She just went to work.
Oh. So, but yeah, I suck at it, but it's still fun. I still enjoy it. I don't play it. Some games I play competitive, that I'm very competitive on certain things, but when I'm playing darts, I'm not. I mean, I want to win, but if I lose, I don't care because
you know what I like? Billiards.
Yeah.
I love playing pool.
Yeah. Blue is good at pool.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. She said when she was younger, her and her sister were kind of like little sharks.
Oh,
So
cool.
they would go, to the pool hall, and she says between the two of them, they could go home with more money than they came with. Just
I remember back in Summerside, my hometown. I used to hang out at the pool hall downtown. That used to be an ice cream shop kind of thing. And I don't know what possessed him, but for some reason my dad decided to come with me one day. And so you walk in the door, and there was the like, you remember on Three's Company when they had the step down onto the couch?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, that was the same idea walking into this place. You walk in the door, and there's a little sunken thing where the door is, and then you take that half a foot step up onto the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a fucking table right there. So me and my dad walk in, this fucking cocksucker. Oh my God. I have my dad over the years decided to give me his pool cue. I have it in the closet. But anyway, so we walk in. He wants to play some pool with me. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. I loved hanging out with him.
Mm-hmm.
But he could play pool. He said, okay, let's do a best of. I'm like, okay, good enough. Let's use some house cues. We don't, whatever. So we each grab a cue and off we go. That fucking son of a bitch. He took me 5 games for 7.
Ooh.
I was like, you fuck. I could have murdered him.
Well, at least you weren't playing for big money. I mean, yeah.
No, we were just having fun.
Yeah, just having fun. Yeah, playing for fun. I'm very competitive. We usually, when I play just about anything, I want to do well. But when we do darts, it's more for fun. And again, it keeps score for you. So as soon as you hit the board, if you're paying 301, it automatically deducts the score. So there's no keeping score on the chalkboard, because I found if I'm drinking or smoking too much, that became difficult. Math becomes quite difficult. Drinking, not as much. But when I'm smoking, math becomes, I'm handicapped. I can't do subtraction, especially adding. I think adding I'm pretty good on. Even adding works. Subtraction, it's like I can't do it. So I told Blue I said I want a dartboard, and she goes, okay. So we're looking at them, and I said I want a digital one. I want one that keeps my score. And you use real darts. You don't use the blunt darts. Use a real dart, and it goes into the board and counts it, and it makes the game for people that are new to it. It makes it so easy for them, because you hit it and all right, what was my score? Is that a triple 20 or triple 18? Well, what's my score?
That always confused me.
Mm-hmm.
The double or the
which is triple, which is double.
Exactly. Yeah, that because we had a dartboard when I was growing up in the basement, and I was like, "What the fuck is all this?"
Yeah. Well, and then if you play 301 the normal way, you have to hit a double or a triple to start.
What's 301?
So at 301, you're counting down from 301.
Oh,
501 or 301, 701. So you start at that and you try to go to 0. So when some people play, you have to hit a double to start. You can't, none of your score counts until you hit a double, and then your score starts dropping. If you get 20, you would be 301 minus 20. You know what I mean? And so you want to get to 0. But the other thing is when you play with people that actually play, you have to hit the double outs. So let's say your score right now is 40. You have to hit a double 20 to finish the game. And if you don't hit double 20, you don't finish the game. I found that to be very difficult. That was hard for me to be able to remember. So, yeah, we'll do a little bit of that tonight. And I don't know. We'll see what happens.
What's Eddie talking about with Dabs has to do his HDL first?
Honeydew list.
Oh, I see. Oh, talking about your company.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's a honeydew list. Yeah, because him and I joke about, because he's retired. So he talks about his honeydew list all the time.
Oh,
His honeydew list is a whole lot more than mine. Mine's not.
Yeah, mine either. No.
So I try to get my things done.
Our biggest thing is taking care of the guinea pigs and their laundering.
Yeah, my daughter-in-law has guinea pigs. They got 2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they got 2 of those, and
We've got 4.
they set up cameras. So like when they're at work, they have cameras at the house that's like looking at the guinea pigs. So that when they're at work, they can look at the guinea pigs, see what the guinea pigs are up to when they're not.
Exactly. Yep.
I'm like, I'm like, okay.
My boss has that for his property in Brampton.
Well, I have cameras on my house, but that's Blue's like, why do we need that? I'm like, because I don't trust. And she goes, that's because you're American.
No, it's not.
I said, I don't.
No,
I'd rather just know.
I know where you live, and I'm gonna pull rank a little bit and say that I agree with why you have those cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
Sometimes shit ain't cool.
No, and there's a lot of people just walking around, not necessarily right in front of mine, walking around, and there are so many of them in a daze, just walking around with a haze in their head.
You know where you are, but they don't.
Yeah. And that was another thing. I started locking all the doors, and because I had heard reports of some of these people tripping out and just walking somebody's house, not know, just
exactly. Yeah.
And I told Blue, and then I don't have a gun. She goes, oh my God. She goes, that's typical American. I said, I don't have a gun. Got all these.
Well, actually, you're not. If you don't have a gun, you're not a typical American.
I know. Well, I'm not allowed to have one here.
Why
Unless
not?
I get a rifle. Unless I go get a rifle. I can't own a gun, and you got to jump through all kinds of hoops to have a handgun.
Well, yeah, but if you do that, you can.
Yeah, I don't know if I could because I don't know if I could. She doesn't want to have one here.
You have a delicate situation, so I don't know if it would be so easy breezy cover girl for you.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe
I got a fucking friend of mine just outside Ottawa who was ex-military. He got medically pensioned out. His career was fairly high octane, and for fuck's sake, one of his hugest bones of contention is Canada's gun laws.
Mm-hmm.
He like, oh my God, he's got such anger towards it.
Yeah.
Because he hunts and stuff, and he's like, "What the hell am I doing wrong?" He's like, all these fucking cunts on the street are ruining it for people like me who hunt and stuff, and who are responsible.
Yeah,
it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and I'm not.
I'm saying that not knowing anything about the gun laws. You know what I mean?
I get nerve. I mean, the only thing is just, I guess. It's just nerve wracking, and not that I would be a person that want to, have a huge arsenal, but sometimes I get nervous when I see people, and you just don't ever know with crazies. Just too many people that don't have respect for other people. Even though this is not a high crime area, I mean, we don't have a lot of crime here. It's small, piddly. It's a lot of you'll have some breaking and entering, small things. So
I would think the high on the list for your area and above you, north of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, because I know someone up there. I would think that most of the things that 5-0 deal with in your area are drug related offenses.
Yeah. And it's people that are, and again, it's those people, doing with between the fentanyl and all these other things that people are doing. That's like, oh my God. And so they deal with a lot of that. And again, we got the clinics that, give stuff out. I don't know, but it's not a bad area. And I guess I can watch the news, and that's one thing. Let's talk to some of my American friends. One difference here is I can turn on the news and I may hear of somebody getting broken in. There might be, some kind of crime or something. If I'm back home, I go and I turn on the news. I'm going to hear 1 or 2 shootings that's in the area, that 1 or 2 people have been shot, within that day. It's so, that constant, when you think about every single day in a city area where there's people that, I said, I don't hear that here. I don't.
No,
it's not even an issue,
you do hear it, but not where you are.
No. I mean, if you were like in one of the big towns, big cities, you might. But here, since I've been here, just a handful of people been shot in this town in the 2.5 years I've been here.
I want
If I was back
to.
home, maybe like a day.
I know you have company coming, and it's 2 o'clock, as you know. But I want to close on this. My show is not political, but I do want to ask you this. I want to get your thoughts on this. For the listeners, once again, I'm talking to my friend Todd, who has graciously agreed to come on my show, and we've been having a mishigas of topics today, and it's been absolutely lovely. We're closing soon, but like I just said, I want to get Todd's thoughts on one thing, because he is by origin American, and because of who I am, being a trans person, and being from the lower hemisphere of the States, let's call it in loose language.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about all that? Because what was it? The last I heard in Congress, there were, and I mean, I don't know what's going on state to state, but the last I heard, there were 113 anti-transgender bills in Congress waiting to be decided upon. And you got that whole fucking shit show going on with Rhonda DeSantis down in Florida.
Yeah.
Don't say gay and all that. And I also owe you an apology, because previous to Todd visiting us today, me and Todd were speaking privately, and during that session, I said to Todd that he has his faith, and I might have been mistaken in that. So I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have assumed that. Mm-hmm. But regardless, because I'm atheist, but
mm-hmm.
I don't know why I told you have your faith. That was a mistake on my part. Yeah. But just the same, how do you're a smart person. How do you, what are your thoughts on the whole fakakta situation in your country of origin?
Well, I think
do you not like fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
it's frustrating in a lot of ways, because I feel like in some aspects the U.S. has taken steps back in time on a lot of topics, and be it women's right to choose if they want to carry a child, from rights, gay rights, transgender rights. I feel like in a lot of ways the country in a whole has stepped back in time of what was accepted, what was okay. Now all of a sudden, well, that's not okay. I remember when I was living back home that there was a big bill about bathrooms, and it was who can use which bathroom. And I remember
that was Bill C-19 in Canada.
And I remember the whole big upheaval that was happening there in our state about which bathrooms people had to use. Was it the one that they were born as, the gender that they were born as, or identify as? And I remember the people saying, well, I don't want a guy using a women's bathroom because he's going to feel up my small kid that goes in there. And to me, it just screams of ignorance in a lot of ways, because a person that is trans or identifies as a woman, they're not looking at some little girl that's sexy to me. But people use fear. They use that fear that they're scared. It's like, you're going to go feeling up my kids. And it's like, no, why would they? I mean, if they see themselves as a woman, why would they see a little girl and get excited? And it's like, that doesn't even make sense. Anybody that's feeling up a little girl, most likely
that's a whole different conversation.
Right. It's going to be some male that's not a trans. And so a lot of times when I hear the arguments, I think that we've rolled back in time of common sense in what's accepted and what's okay. I think that we've rolled back the clock and saying, let's go back to the way it was in 1950s.
Traditional values, so to speak.
Yeah, those family values.
Yeah, and what did that and
What's that?
what did a Stepford life do for us?
Yeah. I mean, everybody was in their place. To me, a lot of times, I think it's me being a white male. I think a lot of white males are worried about that.
To make a pop culture reference, you remember the show Bewitched, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Could you imagine if the aura, so to speak, of Bewitched existed in 2024?
No.
You know what I mean? To twist logic a little bit. If that life, like a chicken in every pot, car in every driveway, husband goes to work, wife is a doting wife, whatever.
Yeah, and she'll do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
She does anything he wants. Yeah, does anything. Hey, what do you need, master?
Fuck me.
Yeah, it's. I think that a lot of times I think a lot of white males are concerned that they're losing the control, the power that they have been accustomed to, and it's from from all the way up. And I think that when we go political and we think about why there's some people that follow Trump, a lot of the people that follow are nervous and angry. They're angry about so many things. And so this is he's going to be our voice. And it's like, we need to be accepting of other people. And you know what, as long as somebody's they're not forcing their lifestyle on me and changing what's happening in my house. And there's not, yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
But that's not where this is going with everybody having the rights. But I think that people feel like, well, so for you to have rights, that means that's taking away some of my rights. No, it's not.
No.
We're all having the rights. It's just saying that everybody has rights. And I also think that people don't like being uncomfortable.
You know what's funny?
People are uncomfortable. That's what they don't like. Because
that's
they don't
what
like
it is. And it's funny you say uncomfortable because of what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know I'm a fan of Howard.
Yeah.
And everyone who knows my show knows I'm a fan of Howard. And for those of you who are new to my show, I'm a fan of Howard Stern.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. But anyway, I've been a fan of Howard since forever. And you know what I noticed? Because I on my days off, I go back in his archives, right, on YouTube and stuff, Howard TV and the whole thing. I noticed something. What was it? Was it 4 years ago when Trump was in office?
Yeah. 2020. Right?
Oh, 2020.
No. Excuse me. 2016.
2016. Okay.
2016.
You know what happened? Because I noticed this. As much as I watch all the YouTube clips and everything, because Howard has admitted this on air, on Sirius. He said there was a time when Donald Trump was, what did he say? Donald Trump appeared on his show on K-Rock or whatever the hell it was more times than anybody in his career. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump, number one, 20, 30 some odd times, whatever it was, for varying reasons. The minute all this mishigas started with Trump, you can't find a single clip from Howard Stern involving Donald Trump on the line.
Mm.
They're all gone.
Been wiped.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. You know what? That's a conspiracy. But usually the people that are spouting conspiracy are the...
Well, no, because Howard said it on air. He's like, I was listening the other morning. He had a caller call in for whatever reason it was. And he said to the caller, "You're speaking to the converted." Because he used to be a Trump fan. And now he's like, Yeah.
There's so many things so many things in that whole
But I just found
think
it. I just found it funny. Not to cut you off, but I
Yep.
just find it funny that once, not so much when he was in office, even though that was a shit show all unto itself.
Mhm.
But once all these indictments and everything started to happen, everything involving Howard Stern and Donald Trump was wiped off of YouTube. I found that really fucking amusing.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
that-
weird how.
Because that wasn't YouTube's decision.
No, well, yeah,
No, that was Howard's people.
yeah. I was gonna say that's probably Howard's people, whoever owned the content.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that it's just. I think that one of the things that happened when he got in office that people felt it was okay to dislike and to be ugly to other people.
Of course. Yeah.
I think I think it was okay. I remember
Like
the time that it's okay for you to, yeah. And again, you don't have to like everybody and agree with their lifestyle. Nobody says you have to like, but I don't have the right to go and attack you and your because you choose a different lifestyle. I'm not supposed to. And I think of the time where there was a time where they were having a rally, and I want to say it was for gay rights in Virginia, and that guy drove his Charger and ran over and killed one of the protesters and ran and killed him. And then
I know about this.
yeah, it was. And Trump said, well, he was a good guy and there was a lot of good guys there. He probably didn't mean to do it. He drove his car.
He didn't mean to fucking do it.
So to me, it just justified and said it's okay without saying it's okay. And so I really felt like that was a time we rolled back in time to say it's okay to be intolerant to other people. It's okay to belittle. I think of when Trump made fun of that reporter. There was that when he was running to be president, and he made fun of that reporter, and he was like,
I remember
he's like, "Duh, duh, 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 duh." And again,
this.
yeah. And it's like, wait a minute, this guy's running for president, and you're okay with him making fun of somebody that has a disability. It's okay with that. It to me, there are again all these things that were just one after another, and it was like almost like, well, you're okay with that, we'll push you a little bit farther. Or you're okay with that, we'll push you a little bit farther.
Welcoming you to Beach. 2 hours in, Beach is telling us that he hopes Dabs has given me a chance to talk. Oh, very much so, my friend. Yes, very much.
Beachy.
It's been I know who Beachy is. Yeah.
Yeah, my boy Beach.
It's been a fun show, and we're about to end because I know.
Yeah, I gotta get my house, get my stuff done. But I do feel in the States, it worries me in a lot of things where we've rolled back the clock on people's choice, people's freedoms. It worries me, and it worries me that I see some of the more conservative people keep pushing this, and it amazes me how many people go along with it. And I'm like,
yeah,
do you see, they're taking away people's rights. They're taking away people's, and you're okay with that. You're okay with this slow grind of rolling back the clock. And women, I mean, to be honest, women losing rights every single day. Women having less power. People of minorities, less power. People of fringe groups or fringe, outside the normal acceptance, losing rights. And it's like, to me, it's like the white males. And again, I'm a white male. I feel they're who's the one that are worried about so
they don't want their toys. They don't want their toys taken away.
Yeah. And the power of control. So I don't know. I'm worried about the country. I really do. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of the news anymore. I barely watch it, and that's bad that I stick my head in the sand. But it's hard on you to watch it and to see it, and depressing. So
I'm going to cut you loose here.
Yep.
But I'm going to close on one thing, given what you just said. And I want to thank everybody who's joined us today. It was a lovely conversation between me and my dear friend Todd. But what you just said reminds me of, I don't know if you saw the clip from Jeff Daniels from the newsroom or something like that, on the U.S. being the greatest country in the world. You might or might not know the clip.
Mm-mm.
If you don't, look it up. It's easy to find. Jeff Daniels rant.
Okay.
What you're saying is almost mirroring Jeff Daniels' words in that scene on YouTube. And it's amazing. And you know what? For all intent and purpose, people have their opinions of Canada. People have their opinions of the U.S. And I'm not one to pull punches. So when I say that it saddens me to hear someone like yourself say that you're discouraged in your own country, those words really hit hard for someone in my seat. And there's nothing. It's going to take a lot of work, right? It's going to take a lot of shifts, but I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe another day. But it's been Todd with me today, guys, on the show. A great friend of mine.
TODD.
Just a fucking shit show, talking about whatever we want.
Yeah,
I want to thank everyone who's joined us in the chat. I'm sorry that I couldn't do Twitch as well, but my subscription lapsed, and I was
break out that credit card.
Absent-minded. So yeah, that's it, everybody. Thank you, Todd, and
My pleasure.
I hope everything goes well with your company tonight.
Oh, it will.
You have a great evening, my friend.
Adios, amigos.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Love you.
Love you.